The components of our Achievement for All plan that make me most excited are the elements that relate to how we engage students, collaborative problem-solving activities, to play those solutions out. We've worked to really begin to meet the needs of all diverse learners. When we created the 21st century model of change, we talked largely about what students should gain from an elementary, middle school, high school education, and how that helps them transition into the world of work or post-secondary education. Collaboration, communication, again, the global emphasis. And programs like the International Baccalaureate program help develop those skills and attributes in our students.
From kindergarten to fifth, we have these same 6 thematic units. And each grade level takes a different area of that thematic unit, but they blend and they weave together and they become bigger and bigger. So children that have units of study with me then in 4th grade are taking that same idea into a bigger knowledge base.
So like this year when we got our 5th graders and we told them we were going to be doing Sharing the Planet and here's what we were talking about, they already knew that. They're like, oh, that's the big unit, and you know, it talks about our world and how we're sharing resources and things. So just that continuity for the kids, that they know and they're realizing that they're going to do those 6 units in every class every year, but with a different twist.
Students come to their learning in the form of questions, and their questions lead the direction that the learning is going to take. One of the requirements of an IB primary years program is that the kids keep a portfolio of their learning. Students have selected what they put into their portfolio. They try to capture the exciting parts of their unit of study. They write about it and reflect upon it. They think about how they were as a learner.
So early this week we had our ice cream social and open house. So the children were active participants in taking their parents through a day in the life of an inquirer. And I think these are kind of amazing. These are 1st and 2nd grade children. I mean, I'm just stunned by some of the artwork, but then their wonderings are pretty powerful too. Creating the units of study is laborious because we try to take all of our ELA, all of our science, as much math, and integrate it in a meaningful way, not a contrived way, but in an honestly meaningful way.
The transdisciplinary part where we're trying to tie everything in, you know, we don't stop doing this and now we start to talk about bears, or we stop talking about bears and we start talking about numbers, you know, but we're trying to tie it all in so that it's more fluid throughout the day. Kids are making better connections. So they're able to learn, I think, better because now I have 7 things tied to that one piece of information, because it tied to the math I was doing, and it tied to the reading I was doing, and it tied to the book I was writing, and so there's more connections, which means that learning is stronger and that information is going to be retrieved easier in the future because I've got more of those little dendrites growing.
The learner profile is the most amazing, powerful component of an IB program. And the reason is that we, from the very beginning, teach children these essential skills that carry them through to successful adulthood.
That was one of the initial things that I loved about it, was the learner profile. It doesn't matter if you're in music class or walking through the halls or sitting in your reading class.
Thank you.
All of the teachers are saying that you should be knowledgeable and balanced. And, you know, I don't have to be the smart kid all the time. You know, I need to be balanced so I can do these things and I can be caring, and this is what it means to be caring.
They'll get excited. They'll be like, oh, we were just communicators because we listened to each other and we shared ideas, or I was open-minded.
I think that profile is so powerful because it's a language, and I think just having that common language has been pretty powerful too. It's like, oh my goodness, that's such a principled action, and they really start to live those.
Students have become critical problem solvers. They are thinkers. They really place action into their learning. as they're completing a unit of study, they always reflect on the action that they could take either in their school, in their community, or in their world.
I think it's just so much more meaningful, and especially with the demographic that we do work with, a lot of them don't have family that pushes education and the importance of an education, and so to give them something meaningful that's not just writing, math, and arithmetic is such a blessing to give to these kids.
Kids just get more excited, it seems like, about taking their learning a little bit further. They might do independent research at home. I know some classrooms have reached out as far as Africa to help.
Being an international school, we're always looking for opportunities to make connections with people around the world. And we did hear about a student at Hellgate High School who had graduated and came from Sierra Leone. And so we made a connection, and through a change drive at our school, we were able to provide $2,335 for families in Africa to get water to their villages. So everybody was involved, kids were excited. We saw pictures, we learned about the situations that people live in, and we learned from that, and kids took it to heart to do something to change their world.